We are back with the Neowave based analysis of Nifty 50. Before we start, wishing all of you a very happy Navratra and Durga Puja. Ma Durga ki kripa hum sab par bani rahe. With that, let's look at what the Neowaves are saying for the coming week on Nifty. Hey, hi Hussain, how are you?
Hi, sir. How are you? Very
Good,
well.
good, good. Great. So I think, it's very difficult market to trade. I think a lot of factors are working out. It would be very interesting to see that how we look forward to the week. So
You've
why
pretty
don't we
much
start? Yeah, go ahead.
you've pretty much hit it on the nail. It's been hard and it's been very much touch and go, you know. Chalo, let's see what we had assumed last week, what actually happened, and based on that information, let's see what may happen. Okay? I'm
Right.
just going to turn on the candle. We had met on this day. Let me just Friday, 13th October.
Right.
Based on this information, we had said that we are in an up move, which is our B wave, and we still have time to continue to the top side.
Correct.
On the 75-minute time frame, I will use this replay button just to bring us back to where we were. Okay, and I'll take this out. Okay, this is the information that we had on Friday. Okay, what we had said that for the short term, for Monday, Tuesday, we may see some downward action. That is what we were expecting. And we had said कि just make this trend line, जब भी ये thrust के साथ कटता है, goes above 19843, and essentially this supply zone, we can go long. Okay, this ends our recap कि हमने क्या कहा था. Let us now see कि exactly हुआ क्या. Over here, I'm just going to quote Mastering Elliott Wave by Glenn Neely, since he's the father of Neowave. He had mentioned in his book that when you see a wave moving in a subdivided fashion, in essence, up, down movement, right? Because not a lot of our viewers know Neowave, and hence I used this analogy. Sticking to subdivided wave, you know that this is a correction.
Right.
What you want to do is you want to connect the lower lows. And the reason I'm connecting only this low and this low is because while the waves are in process, आपको ये information मिलता नहीं था.
Correct.
You would only have this much. And I'm turning on the candles here. Whenever this trend line is broken with thrust, you know that the up move is terminated. I'm just explaining this pattern because it was a very hard week. And only if you were at your best game, you would be able to make the most of it.
Correct.
Right. So what we saw is that in spite this B wave that was going up went over 19,843, it then turned around and broke this trend line with thrust.
Correct.
तो हमें इतना information मिल गया कि ये जो भी upward correction जा रहा था वो यहाँ पे terminate हो गया था. At that point, we just had this red A and this red B.
Correct. And the important thing there was also the thrust, which you saw on that 75-minute candle.
That's right.
Right.
That's
I mean, because the trend line that you drew was broken with the thrust. Significant fall in that 75 minutes.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, what we saw is that we had this A wave down, which was a mono wave. It was not subdivided. We had a subdivided wave up, which was its correction.
Yes.
It had retraced this mono wave by more than 61% and had taken more time.
Yes.
This was a recipe of a flat pattern.
Yeah.
Again, quoting the book, Mastering Elliott Wave by Glenn Neely, he says that when the B wave is between 80 to 101% of the A wave, it's known as a normal B wave.
Correct.
In essence, the C wave can retrace the entire B wave. So when this broke with thrust, we had enough information with us to guide us कि ये जो point है नीचे का,
Correct.
ये पूरा retrace हो सकता है, and that's exactly what happened. ठीक है? Let me take this out. Don't want to
Yeah, so
clutter my
that's a
chart.
very important point, right? Because this is how you start using Neowave in your trading. When that trend line was broken with a thrust, we knew that as per the flat pattern rules, it can come down below the A wave. So at least
Yes,
that much target you can work with and short.
absolutely, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
क्या होता है ना, when the wave is over, we can say, अरे इतना नीचे गया. But when
Hmm.
you're doing it live and you're seeing with so much thrust it is going down, and I'll turn on the candles over here. यहाँ पे जब आप ये थोड़ा support देखते हैं ना कि इधर रुक गया है,
Hmm.
you would be very scared कि boss, is it going to go below this or not?
Hmm.
This is when Neowave helps you,
Correct.
and these rules help you.
And that is where on that day, which was 19th, basically end of 18th,
Yes,
and if someone was playing overnight for 19th, it was
जी,
a very high probability trade. Of course, we say that if you're taking that trade, please take with a hedged position, any overnight trade. But someone
that's right.
would have gone with a very high confidence that the next day is going to be a gap down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And obviously, if you had, taken puts over here, you would have made a beautiful pot
Yes,
of gold for
yes.
yourself. अभी क्या है, ये अपना सी वेव तो आ गया, इतना तो हमने देख लिया कि हाँ बॉस, ये ए वेव, बी वेव, ये सी वेव क्या है. अभी ये सी वेव में क्या हो रहा है, दैट इज व्हाट वी वांट टू सी, राइट? Is it over? Is it still going to
Correct.
continue? To know that, we will go to a 15-minute chart.
That is the $1,000,000 question, because you always say whatever has happened has happened. And
Yes,
many times, analyzing, looking at the rear view mirror is much easier. Now we are saying,
absolutely.
okay, you could have taken the overnight position, you would have made tons of money by buying puts. But in
जी.
the live market, that is what gets tested.
Very rightly said. Retrospective में we are all billionaires, but we make money prospective.
You know,
Now I will just, we are looking at this B wave for just a second on a 15-minute chart. You will see that it has gone up in 5 waves. We had this A, B, C. Your D wave was a pattern, and your E wave. You can ask me, Hussein, why have you not ended the E wave here, and why are you ending the E wave over here?
Mhm.
Again, quoting the
Right.
book Mastering Elliott Wave by Glenn Lilly, he has said, whenever you see thrust, you
Right.
know something new has started. And hence, we are ending our E wave here, which ends the B wave essentially on the 75. This
I would
movement to
just
the
like to take one moment, because
Ji sir,
many of our viewers are they have started with the Elliott wave,
Ji sir.
and now maybe looking at the Neowave. One of the things in the Elliott wave, you keep on going back and you look at the larger wave, you say this is 3 of 5 or 4 of 3, etc., etc. Whereas a Neo wave, it is simpler. You don't have to really go back that much in the history. You look at where there was a sharp move, where there was a thrust,
That's
and
right.
wherever that sharp move happened, you know that something new has started. And
That's
that
right, sir.
new that got started is the point where you can start your analysis again without worrying about what happened so much in the past. And that is
That's
one
right.
fundamental difference which I would like to call out. And the learners of Neowave, please keep that in mind. Whenever you see a sharp move, typically that would be an A wave, a new pattern, but that is where you can start analyzing the chart from, or the wave pattern from. Keep
That's
that
right.
in mind. Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
right.
Sorry, I just wanted to call that out because there are learners of Neowave in our channel. Yeah. Go
Yes, sir.
ahead.
And our main goal is that people benefit and learn and grow. So I'm
Yeah,
glad you
sure.
pointed that out.
Sure. Please go
Now,
ahead.
so when we further drill down into the C wave, right, we
Mhm.
saw there was a thrust to the downside. Some kind of correction is going on over here. Again, there was a thrust to the downside. There was a correction over here. Here we can see that this correction and this correction has overlapped. And then again, there was a move to the downside. As of right now, I'm just going to mark this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Mhm.
Okay? I see that there are 3 waves in the direction of the trend. There are 2 waves in the opposite side of the trend.
Right.
Okay, we are talking about the trend of this C wave. Okay?
Yep.
Over here, we can make a trend line here.
2-4 trend.
Okay?
Yep.
2, 4 trend line. Because this is a 5 wave. So far, we saw that based on the 15-minute chart, there is a probability that this move to the downside may take a halt.
Right.
I'm using the word halt because of the geopolitical tension. If this wasn't there, I would have been a lot more aggressive, a lot more ambitious and confident कि बस यहाँ से तो ऊपर जाना चाहिए. अभी क्या ये सब हफ्ता has been a little difficult, so I'm a little cautious. अब this ends कि exactly क्या हुआ, let us see क्या हो सकता है. For that we are moving on to a 75-minute chart.
Right.
Okay? Because of the toughness of the market, we have more than one case. And I'll switch off the candles here. ये अपना A wave था. Last week we saw the B wave.
Yeah.
Looking at the C wave, yes, there is evidence कि शायद तो ये wave यहाँ पे रुक सकता है.
Right.
ठीक है? Which means कि अपना जो बड़ा C wave है, उसके लिए एक up move आना चाहिए. In essence, some up move should come.
Yeah,
So our
we're
first,
describing the internals of the B wave just for the benefit of the viewers. And that B wave is something which is forming a flat pattern. There we are seeing ABC within that larger B wave. And now we are trying to see that, if that B wave is over, in case that is over, then there can be a C wave. And, how far. So that's what we are trying to analyze.
that's
Right.
correct. Just to reduce any kind of confusion, ये जो red ABC है ना, इसको मैं ये chart से निकाल देता हूँ. I'm only talking about this purple ABC.
Right.
This B wave was a flat pattern like you just mentioned. अभी हमें first case में क्या देखना है? Since we have two waves, we have the A wave, we have the B wave.
Right.
We want to see C wave क्या करेगा, right? Once we have A and B, we can identify what the third can be. For the C wave to come into action, we should go above 19,682. इसके ऊपर जाना चाहिए. For it to continue going to its, like 61%, 76, ये पूरा B wave क्या retrace करेगा, क्या होगा? Our second case is क्या है? This is where we are saying what is the minimum for the C wave.
Right.
जो minimum है 30 to 38%, which gives us a level of approximately 19,600 to 19,650.
Yeah. Yeah.
अगर यहाँ पे बाउंस आया और थ्रस्ट में कंटिन्यू किया ना, तो यू कैन से कि चलो ये और ऊपर जा सकता है. अगर ये लेवल पे डगमगा गया या साइडवेज चला गया या वहां से यू टर्न मारा, वी विल कंसिडर दैट एज मे बी अ सी फेलियर, क्योंकि इट वुड हैव कंप्लीटेड इट्स मिनिमम रिक्वायर्ड.
Correct.
तो अपना ये पर्पल एबीसी हो जाएगा. ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज मेक दिस जीरो बी ट्रेंड लाइन यहाँ पे. अगर इसको थ्रस्ट के साथ काटता है ना, तो आप इसको और नीचे यहाँ पे 480 के नीचे 19333 के आसपास जाते हुए देख सकते हैं. ठीक है. Our last case, now if you see in case 1 and case 2, both we have said कि ये C wave शायद तो खत्म हो सकता है, and we can see either movement for C or we can just see a small bounce up to 650, 600 to 650.
Yeah. Yeah.
समझो दोनों केस नहीं हुए और सीधा गैप डाउन ही हुआ. वापस हमारे लिए 19480.50 एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लेवल हो जाता है.
Yeah.
अगर वो टूटता है ना, तो फिर यू एक्सपेक्ट 19,333. वो भी टूटा तो 19,223 की तरफ.
Then basically you are playing further down. So let's quickly recap what we talked on the Neowave analysis. We have talked about the three cases. The first case is the bullish case, where we gap up and break 19,600, 19,650, then go and cross the resistance of 19,727.40 also. In that case, further up move is possible till the supply area of 19,880 or so. Now, that would have been the ideal case, the way the structure is forming on the Neowave, if we were not in the global positions where we are. Given where we are, we have also looked at two other possibilities. The second possibility is sell on rise case, where we gap up, face resistance in 19,600, 650, and then break down. And in that breakdown, we come below 19,480. In that case, further down move is possible. The third scenario is ultimate bearish scenario, where we gap down in the morning on Monday, and we go below 19,480, then we keep going down. In that case, we will see the first support at 19,330 and then to 19,200. All those levels can be taken out. So that's the ultra bearish case. Now, if we have to stick our neck out and say that, look, which case is possible, then the second case looks likely, which is the C wave failure. And in that case, we show some up move, because C wave, so the larger V wave would have got over the way Hussain described. And then we move up a bit, C wave fails, and then there is a down move. So that is the likely scenario. So that's what the Neowaves are saying. Not very conclusive. Staying cautious is the mantra. With that, let's also look at some of the other data points and try to see, if combining them is making more sense. If you look at our price action, the entire rise on the weekly basis, in the week of 9th October, was negated in the week of 16th October. So basically, if you look at a 2-week chart, then you will see a doji there. It's a very tight range, 360 points approximately in the 2 weeks, which is less than 2% of Nifty. If you look at the daily, again on Friday, there was a perfect doji candle, and it was also an inside bar. So we have to see what happens. We described 3 scenarios on the Neowave. If the first scenario play out, then it is possible then the Friday high will be taken out, but there may be resistance on the Thursday high. Unless Thursday high is taken out, sustained up move is not likely. So overall, that remains sell on the rise market. If you look at technical indicators, it's a forming, there is a compression happening. There is a very tight range, and the market is moving in that range, and it is frustrating a lot of traders. The moving average, the 50-day moving average, which is one of the very important moving average in our view, the price is around that figure. It's going up, coming down. It's neither going too far up nor going down significantly. So, that is the situation right now. It's a very tight range. And whenever such tight range is there, you need to wait for the range breakout before putting big money. The options data, put OI is highest at 19,500, highest call OI is 19,800, followed closely by 19,600. Essentially, it is 19,500 to 19,600. Again, a very tight range. So the traders couldn't create a wide range on Friday. It's a very tight range. And good news is that the position size is not very high. So in that case, market may get a chance to give exit to both the bulls and the bears, depending on whichever way it goes. The PCR is 0.7, slightly bearish. It's not slightly bearish, it's bearish. But we have seen that whenever we reach around 0.65 to 0.7 kind of mark, there is slight bounce that may come in the price. So that is also saying us that it could be a sell on the rise market. Unless 19,650 and then 19,720 is broken, we are not going to take a strong bullish stance. Have FI data and the US market data, as we have discussed in the previous weeks, that remains very bearish. If you look at the results that are coming in India, the results are in line with the expectation, nothing spectacular, nothing very bad. Whether you look at the key banks like ICICI Bank, Kotak, and Yes Bank and RBL, they published their result over the weekend. They did better than the expectation, depending on how you look at it. There are some elements which are not so good also in terms of the operating margin pressure. So results are in line with the expectation. Indian market overall was doing well. There is a high liquidity. A lot of money is coming in the market. What is not going well is the global factors. And because of the global factors, once FIIs are bearish, they are taking out the money. Second is, no one can bet big money when the global scenario is so bad. When there is fire all around you, you're not going to be isolated from it. So that's pretty much what is happening. Last 2 weeks has been a fairly tight range. Let's see when that range breaks. Till then, stay cautious. Trade with smaller than the usual quantity, or even if you are putting larger quantity, take a short-term view. Once again, we are doing this as part of our analysis. We are not giving any buy or sell recommendation. You please take suggestion of your financial advisor before taking any trade. This is just one of our perspective on the broad indices that we are sharing with you. If you like our video, please hit a like button on this video and also subscribe to our channel. With that, wishing all of you a happy Dashera in the coming week and a fantastic trading session. Thank you so much.